Well, good evening. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. And tonight, it is your night to ask questions. And we're kind of doing a double header here. I'm going live on Instagram over here, and I'm live on Facebook here. Um, but tonight is our whole show is about what you want to talk about. Now, I have some things I'm going to bring up, but I want you to control the conversation. So it's going to be a little awkward because we've got Instagram over here and Facebook and my other channels and my website over here. So everybody's going to have to play along together and be nice. Well, thank you first off, Dave. So what's on your mind? What's on your guys' mind tonight? Our sponsors of our show tonight are New Leaf Hyperbarics and Wellness Center. If you've never done hyperbarics, you have to try it. It's awesome. They also do light therapy, and that's what tonight at the end of the show, Matt McCarl, who owns it's going to have a little blurb where he'll talk about the light therapy and how that works. It's super. I've done it after a workout, and it's awesome. They have them, all kinds of them, different ones for recovery, different things for mood altering, stuff like that. So it's very good. And they also, of course, have hyperbaric oxygen treatment. And if you've never done that, you're missing out. Our other sponsor tonight is Chris Dental Family Dentistry. And Dr. Michael Bratlin is not shy about how he feels about people's freedoms and their civil liberties. But right now he's really pushing people to, if you've got your deductible met and you've already paid all those bills, then what the hell are you waiting for? Go to the dentist. If you've got a cracked tooth, a crown is getting there, or a filling that's kind of loose and you want to get that fixed, now's the time to do it while your insurance is paying for it. So go do it. Don't wait around. So Dr. Chris Dental Family Dentistry, Dr. Michael Bratlin, our other sponsor tonight, and we'll be hearing from them at the end of the show. So anyway, my what's on my head tonight? Did I freeze up over here? I did. That's kind of odd. Oh, maybe I have too much going on. Maybe Instagram and Facebook all working at the same time is just too much for the media gods to handle. I don't know. So do you guys see all this stuff on Twitter? What in the hell is going on? I mean, this is insane that we live in a country where our president apparently that the federal government, the FBI, is colluding with big tech media like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter to change the conversation. Now, as a former journalist, for those of you who don't know, I was a TV news anchor for 30 years in the Eugene area of Oregon and Western Oregon. And for a guy like me and any other journalist, if they're truly a journalist, they should be up in arms about this, because I mean, not only did you probably change the outcome of an election, which that's not the main point for me. It's that you are censoring information online because of a lie. And the Hunter Biden laptop, I remember I just mentioned it once, just a little bit, just a blurb about it back in the day. And they threw up a big thing. They took it down. They wouldn't let it stay up. And I was like on Twitter. And I'm like, you can't do that. Paulie, you're welcome, man. I love Oregon, but I couldn't take, for those of you who don't know, I moved to Montana. I'm in Townsend, Montana. I couldn't take it anymore. Not only is it illegal, Rachel, but it's unethical. It should make every American really scared, because this is what they do in China. We don't do that in the United States of America. You don't have the FBI colluding with big tech and media sources. And then, of course, CNN, none of those people ran it either. They all shut it down. So, I mean, how do you get away with that? And how can you even, I mean, and here's what scares me the most is I think that a lot of Americans are okay with that because they want to win. They don't give a shit if it's morally incorrect, and if it's a bad policy, I mean, what comes next? MSN doesn't cover it. Crazy, so corrupt. Oh, even today, a lot of them aren't even talking about it. I'm exactly thinking of moving back. I'm actually thinking of moving back to Oregon. Good luck. And here's the other thing that bugs me. I get blasted by certain people. Usually they're really super right wingers because they say, "Oh, you're always blasting Oregon." I said, "How am I blasting Oregon? I'm just pointing out facts and problems. I don't think everyone should leave Oregon. I was called to leave Oregon. My wife and I were called to leave Oregon, and we left. Montana's not perfect. There's no place that's perfect. But the bottom line is, my wife and I could not live under the oppression of the government and the people in the power places of Oregon. We couldn't do it. Over here on this page, you guys, I do have 2 pages going tonight, so I don't blame you for leaving at all. Your new place looks great, by the way. Oh, thank you, Stuart. It is harder to do it from here. Hang on, I'm going to try something here. Go live with Paul. I'm going to try seeing if I can go live over on here, and hopefully we'll be able to hear it here on Facebook as well. But we're going to try this. Instagram offers you a pro. Oh, there we go. How you doing, Paulie?
Hey, good.
Talk loud because I'm trying to get you on my Facebook channel at the same time. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So what's on your mind? What's on your mind?
Just enjoying you.
Oh,
you know, it's nice and cold here. Probably a lot colder out there. Whoa.
Yeah, Polly. Today our temperature, I think we got up to 23.
I cooked today.
Well, good for you, man. You guys. So those of you on Facebook, we have a live going also on Instagram, and we have Polly up here. Who
right.
Just popped on to say hi and see what's going on. Well,
I cooked for 15th night. It's a group downtown, homeless group.
So you cooked for a homeless group tonight. That's awesome.
I do that about once a month.
Well, good for you, man. So he does once a month. He goes down and helps at a kitchen in the Eugene area and how does that make you feel? What's that make? Is that to kind of make does it make your week?
It's my life. Yeah, I love doing it. I do that a lot. Yeah.
Well, I am so glad you do that. That sounds like, I think a lot of people could take a lot of their problems off their mind if I was talking to a guy, a cowboy today, and he was saying to me, if people stop focusing on themselves and started looking at other people and how they can help them, they'd feel a lot better. Don't you agree?
Yes. Very empowering.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah. Well, Pi, thanks for coming on, man.
You're welcome.
Okay. Man. See you later.
All right. Bye.
I don't want to end it. Cancel.
No.
Okay.
Please
so
don't.
How do I take you off of there?
I don't know. I see my forehead.
You know what, Polly? Try getting out of it. Try shutting it off on there on your end. Okay.
Okie dokie.
All right. So, anyway, we were talking about Elon Musk and the Twitter thing. There we go. That got everybody on there. Unbelievable that Americans will put up with this, if they will. I was listening to a radio report, and they said they had questioned people, and like 8% of people had said that if they had known that Biden was connected, as what we're seeing, this is all allegedly, but what we're seeing that was possibly connected to this Hunter Biden laptop. I mean, he was, we all know it, but I'm going back to my news days, allegedly. But if he was, they wouldn't vote for him again. And that's enough to sway the election. So he cheated. And they cheated using the FBI, a government agency that's not supposed to be political. And then you censored information and gave the American people only what you wanted them to hear. That is so deadly. I mean, do you understand what a Pandora's box that opens? Because and then I think they did the same thing with COVID. The whole mess with the pandemic. Same thing happened. Any of us would ask questions. I'd have people on that were saying, well, there's some things we should be looking at here before we do all this. And instantly, even on here, if I put COVID in the lead, they'll put on, COVID information. They make it look questionable is what I'm talking about. You're not blasting the actual state of Oregon, but the leadership of Oregon is destroying this beautiful state. Darcy, exactly. Exactly. I got you guys. We have two places going here. So and people that take it that way, screw them. I just don't care. They want to take it like I love Oregon as much as they do, but I couldn't take it anymore. The leadership, lack of leadership, the one party rule, the far, far, far regressive left. And they don't care about anything except what winning. So it's time everybody else decide we want to win too. We need some balance in this state. Betsy Johnson would have given us that. They're trying to destroy the average American, old Joe being led by the Chinese. Well, you gotta ask questions when he's got all these connections, don't you? And then what's going on in the world? And do people not have the ability to critically think? Kate, you're over here on on Facebook. Yeah, on COVID. How quickly they were able to manipulate the information and boil it down. And so then everybody was bad if they didn't do what everybody else was doing. That is not America. That's what I had the biggest problem with. I don't care if you wear a mask. I don't care if you get a vaccine. But I do care that you just listen and then tell me and other people around you, if you would just do this, we could get over it. Well, yeah, that's following the science. And the same people telling me to follow the science don't follow the science. It's kind of like the same people that tell me not to hate, but hate me. The same people that say, don't hate Rick and you need to be nicer to people, then turn around and tell me they hope me and my family all get COVID and die. It's so hypocritical. LA County is considering masking up. West Coast will follow. Oh, they will. That's another part of the reason Kathy and I did what we did is there'll always be another COVID. There'll be something else that's going to come up because they figured out how easily we were to manage. And now they're going to manage more people. Okay, I got a comment over here. Hang on. Oregon State buys a half dozen back-to-back ads on Newsmax and OAN to make conservatives angry enough to go back to their liars at CNN. That's interesting. Critical thinking. Oh, nice, Angela. My exact point. Someone said that to you? Yes. Somebody wrote me an email and said that they hope that me and my family all got COVID and died. Yeah. And they probably had a choose kindness bumper sticker on their car. No, I got an email this morning on a timber story I did on YouTube. And this person had a fake name. It wasn't even a name. It was like, I can't remember what it was. Wasn't even a name. Blasted me. And then I went on and said, I'm sorry, but if you don't use your name, I do not have conversations with people that don't use their names. Kept going on and on. I said, I wouldn't use my name because there's terrible people out there that do awful things. And I'm like you? And I do laugh about it now, but I will be really honest with you. It gets to me. Had a lady tell me unvaccinated people should all be in prison. I've heard that too. It does get to you after a while. And it's been kind of a tough couple of 4 days, 5 days. And it's starting to impact us. And here's the thing that bugs me about the Twitter thing. This is what bugs me, is you were censoring information, and now we have a president who's driving our economy into the shitter, and there's nothing we can do about it, and it's cheated. You cheated, and you didn't give Americans a chance to make their own decision. You held back information. What else are you doing that on? That's what I'd be asking. And Elon Musk is not my hero, but good for you for going in. You know what he did. I'm sure he found out about this when he was buying the company. And now he's milking it for all the public relations he can. I would too. But he's going to blast this thing out. And you know what? You're going to see things, I bet, that you cannot imagine. Did you see the thing today on Hobbs, the new elected governor in Arizona? Here's another thing. If you want to talk about weird shit that is unethical. So she's the Secretary of State who handles the elections in Arizona, and she's running for governor. And then all that crap happened in Arizona under her rule. And then Lake doesn't win because she should have recruited. She just said, I'm out of here. Somebody else will take care of this. But she didn't. And that's unethical, you guys. That's unethical. You can't run the election that you win and it gets all screwed up and it looks really questionable. That would, 15 years ago, that would have been unacceptable. But anyway, today there's information that Hobbs, the new governor-elect of Arizona, who is the Secretary of State, who handled the shitty election they just had that was a clusterfuck, excuse my language. But now there's alleged that she had conversations. She had contacted Twitter last year about some fake news that was on there and had it censored off. You guys, you can't make this stuff up. Multnomah County is already recommending masks indoors to help protect babies with RSV. Oh my God. I would say, no way. I don't think they count the stupidity of the people as the passivity. I think it's both. I think it's laziness, it's passiveness, it's apathy. It's not doing your homework. And here's the bottom line. Americans want to feel like they're doing something. So rather than actually going out and doing something, it's better. It's much easier to just, oh, I recycle. Well, guess what? Most of us who've done any research know that doesn't do shit. Recycling doesn't do anything. I mean, we can pretend and we can all feel good about it. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. I guess you can. But it was all going to China. Now it's not going anywhere. So it doesn't really do that much if you talk to the experts. Doesn't really do that much. So, but we want to feel good. So it's the same when we vote for something. If somebody doesn't feel good, and Donald Trump doesn't feel good, oh my God. So here's Valerie says, Biden's son wasn't working for the U.S. government. Trump's daughter and husband pocketed over $600 million. And Jared walked away with $2 billion from the Saudis during the Trump term in office. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. And I don't think it's just limited to one party. And Valerie, I think I get your point. Both parties are screwed up, but Biden said and lied that he had no ties to anything that his son was doing. And there's now, we all know that there is huge money interest there. And the Bidens were making a ton of money and Joe was getting a bunch of it too. So let's be factually fair. If we're going to go in here and beat up one person, we got to beat up the other too. But right now, the story isn't about Trump. The story is about Biden lying, and that's possibly how he won. So if you voted for him, thank you for the recession. We appreciate it. P.S. Don't vote next time. God, I had somebody say, it's not Joe Biden's fault that we're in a recession. Well, the first thing he did was signed off and got the pipeline stopped. And I know they lie and they say, oh, well, there's all these permits out there, but go and dig a little deeper. People need to really look at him. He's a pathetic liar. Well, guess what, Valerie? So is Joe Biden. Come on. If you were fair, you'd say Trump is a pathological liar and so is Joe Biden. They're both probably pathological liars, but we know now. We're talking about, don't try to sidestep it. Biden is a liar. He just proved it. But you can't get off Trump, can you? But the bottom line is nothing will ever be done about it anyway. Connie, that's unfortunately because there's a bunch of people who don't really care if it changes. And I think a lot of people don't understand. I mean, they don't get it. Oh, censorship. So what? It doesn't affect me. Well, no, it does. It does affect you. And Valerie, I'd really like to ask you, you're so anti-Trump. Well, why can't we talk about Biden? This is a story today. What do you think he did the right thing? Do you think it's okay for Twitter to censor information about a story that was pertinent? There was enough evidence to say it was out there, and they do it against Trump. So do you think it's fair that they don't do it against the Biden family? I just would love to know your answer on that, if you think that's fair. Because that's what I don't understand. People's hate of Donald Trump is what's gotten us into this mess. I mean, I can see you not liking the guy. I don't really care for him either. But put up the two of them side by side. most of us were doing a hell of a lot better under the Trump administration than we are under the Biden administration. And we can all say, oh, and then I hear the thing, oh, but the world's in a in a in a recession right now. The world, well, we can't use recession because Biden changed the name of that. So is in a downward turn or something, you know. But if you really look at it, all the things that led up to it were Biden's decisions. Energy, look at the energy costs because he stopped the pipeline. He's making it harder. The people there, yeah, there's 9,000 permits out there, but what oil company is going to invest in that? Go listen to an oil company, folks, to explain how this works on their end of the business, like you would any other story. And you start having a different feeling. I think Biden's not spreading hate every day. Well, yes, he is. Like, if you're a Republican, he does, and not to his own. He spreads hate just as much as Donald Trump does. Come on, Valerie. Come on. Don't be like that. You have to be honest with us. Come on. That is so wrong. Remember when he got up and he said, he called people, what were they if they didn't get the vaccine, what they were? I mean, I think what regressives, that's what I call progressives. I think what regressives do is they only see hate of other people if somebody else is doing it. They don't see it in themselves. I was born and raised a Republican. Okay, so then what does that have to do with it? I used to be a Democrat. I've been a non-affiliated voter for for the last 10 years. Who cares? You obviously hate Trump, and you can't get it out. It's blinding you to the bullshit. The night old Joe called Americans lazy. What about that? Oh, that's not hate though, because he wasn't hating people. He's just calling them lazy when he's the one who wants to pay everybody not to work. The blinders are real for this one. Oh yeah. Well, you know what I think it is too? It's spiritual too. All over the Bible, it talks about how God will blind people, but it's not because you're bad people. It's because you won't look. You're not looking at anything. Valerie, you might be a U of O professor. No, she's just arguing her question, and that's fine. But I'm not going to sit and not just listen to it. You know what I mean? If you, my favorite. The Democrats have become the Republicans. The Republicans have become the Democrats. Remember in Eugene when you were there's hippies back when we used to live there years ago. We had all these hippies, and they'd have shitty old Volvos that had smoke coming out the back of them, but they're environmental. But I like hippies. But anyway, their bumper stickers were "Kill your TV, don't trust authority, don't trust big pharma." Now that's a Republican, and the Democrats are no. If you just keep doing what they tell us to do. I mean, that's what's the weirdest thing. You've got these people who used to be radicals who would never listen to the government or big pharma. And now you're trusting them to put something in you that you don't know. Hey, have you guys seen Died Suddenly? Have you seen that film? It's on, can't remember, what is it on? Rock? Oh, not, Rumble. It's on Rumble. Go over and look at it. Trump has been gone for a while. I know that, Angela, that's what drives me crazy. It's like he's gone. He's not here anymore. And they're still so afraid of him and so hateful. It's because there's nothing else. They have no hope to offer us. What, more recession? 2023, I'm looking at stuff. I'm already having clients that are having a hard time. I mean, it's going to get worse than this. And then what do you keep saying? And then what's so scary, though, is all they do is say, okay, here's what we do. And then all the sheep go, bah, thank you. Okay, we'll keep doing what you want us to do. Like it's going to get better. Oh, gas prices have come down a little bit. Well, guess what? It's going to catch up to us. This is insanity. And why? I think it's a really interesting it's a really interesting study. I love sociology. When I was in college, I thought sociology was so amazing. It's to watch people fall in line the way they have. See, my wife and I, we can't do that. We're just not like that. Both sides. Nathan, I agree. And Nathan's on here. Nathan Jordan says we won't see him in 2024. I don't think Trump's going to make it. He's you know what he's done? This is what's kind of funny about Trump, where he's fucked up, is he's doing exactly what the Democrats are doing with him. So the Democrats, it's like a booger on your finger. They're shaking and shaking and it can't come off. So they just can't stop hating Trump because they don't know what else to do. Well, now Trump is doing the same thing. It's like 2020, the election was fake. Well, we all know it was fucked up and messed up and they cheated and whatever. But that's over. Once it's over, you just have to move on. And so now it's about 2024, but he keeps pointing back to no. So he won't let go of them and they won't let go of him. And in the end, they're all going to destroy each other. Die Suddenly might be on multiple platforms because I saw an ad for it. Oh, it's well worth watching, but it'll gross you out and scare you. I would go against the Hippieville back then. And both sides are like that. Nathan, yeah, we agree. We agree. Connie, they are draining our reserves. They're going to drain the oil reserves. And then it's all going to come back to haunt us, just like it did with the pandemic. They gave all that money out, gave money, printed money, and now we're in a recession. Well, any economist will tell you that's what's going to happen. But we got a president and his team and a Congress that can't figure it out. The party is no longer Republican, it is now authoritarian. Oh, Valerie, your Democrat party is exactly the same thing. Oh my God. You guys don't care about but you don't care about poor people. You profess to care about the poor and you don't. You know, the best thing you could do for the poor in the world, if you wanted to solve do the best thing you could for climate change, make energy efficient, make energy costs cheaper, get poor people. When people are poor, they have to cut wood and do all kinds of terrible things to the environment to stay warm, and you can't blame them. But if you make people wealthier, then they care more about the environment. Studies will show that. Your party doesn't care about the people. You don't care about poor people or anybody like that because all your policies are against them. And they're starting to figure you out. I mean, they really are. Because you don't align with side we feel out of the game. And if that makes sense, they have gotten us divided. We need to get back to we the people, one side. I hope that makes sense. So Nathan, it totally does. We do need to get back to one people. But how do you do that when you've got Valerie here always blaming us and Donald Trump? And why can't people just let it go? Oh, here, name one thing the Republicans have done for the poor. Well, Donald Trump did some pretty amazing things for poor people, and especially the Black and Hispanic. Their income level came way up under him, way up more than what you guys have done for him. Because I think Republicans believe to get people out of poverty, and I believe that the Democratic Party wants to keep them there because you can control them, because that's what the Democratic Party wants to do, is control people and make them dependent on the government, whereas Republicans want people to be dependent on yourself, to take care of yourself, to learn how to do that for yourself. That's my opinion. If you want to cut gas by 2025, like they say, give everyone a free EV car or truck. Problem is, I'm sorry, you guys, I'm missing out on you. The EV cars run on electricity, which is produced by coal in many places, and which now Biden doesn't want to do coal either. Okay, here, I remember going to the country fair in Hippieville. Oh, you're talking about that. Okay, here we go. Paul over here. He's a New Yorker. He hit back harder than he gets hit. It's a rare quality in politicians. He's often proven right later. I do like that about Trump. He came in and the Republicans hated him and the Democrats hated him, just evenly, actually. And I love the fact that he was able to. That's what I admire about him, is that I thought he was. He came in and said, "No, we're gonna tear up this whole system." And the people who were most against him are people who love the system, and the system doesn't work. And like Nathan said, I think it was Nathan, we need to find some common ground here and pull this thing back together. No EV for this home. We already use our truck for hauling electricity, hauling it, etc. So name one thing. The poorest state in the country is Republican. Okay. Okay. I guess it defines how you define poor, Valerie. Yes, Rick, thank you for giving me a voice. You're welcome, Larice. And that's the whole thing. It is we the people. And until people stop hating Trump and start looking at what's really going on, because Trump's not the president now. Now we have Joe Biden, okay? And Joe just got caught and is going to get caught censoring, being part of this whole game. And he lied. He was helping his son. And we're going to find that out. And then what do? Then do you hate him as much as you hate Trump, or does he get a pass? Oh, what we need to start doing, honestly, I think Nathan Jordan is on to something. What if we did this, Valerie? What if we made a standard? I know that's a really scary thing. We have a standard in this country for moral and upstanding behavior. So Donald Trump wouldn't win either, but Joe Biden certainly wouldn't either. And who would? So at least we would start voting on people based on, if they lie, then we call them a liar. And if they cheat, we call them a cheater. But I called somebody a liar on here who lied. And one of my regressive friends was so angry. You can't call them a liar. Well, no, if someone lies, you can call them a liar. Hating Trump, everyone hates the other side, that the division that's going on. So let's set a standard. What do we expect in a leader? What do you expect from a leader of your country? Do you expect them to lie to you? I mean, is that acceptable? And then what I hear people saying is, well, they all do. Well, then maybe we need to find some new candidates. Maybe we need to look outside the Republican and Democrat Party. Maybe we need to get rid of the party system, because it seems to be messing everything up, because we don't have good candidates. We don't have candidates. Everybody's voting for the lesser of two evils. So but maybe we need to, and well, I guess here's a thought though. If we're going to ask for a more moral set of moral fiber, then maybe we have to live up to that too. Maybe we need to go back and come up with some kind of way that we, the people, have to have a standard set. And, I think it's interesting, because I've always thought this was kind of a funny argument. People say, the federal government needs to balance the budget, to which I then say, well, how much do you owe personally? Is your house paid for? And I point this at me too. No, we have a system that I owe on my house, I owe on my truck, I'm living in debt, but I want the government to do better. See what I mean? That's when it gets kind of dicey, because I want them to behave, but they're just like me. And I'm setting a standard that doesn't really work. Timothy, that's the way I was when I was a kid. Transparency, something government. Oh yeah, Governor Brown says she's going to be transparent. That woman's got more mud on her hands than anybody. Term limits, can't, Gus, the Supreme Court won't let you. I don't think haters listen, period. No, they're too angry. But who does when they're hating? And they've made up their mind. They're not listening. It's not like people, the anti-Trumpers, I just find the most fascinating people, because it's like, I'm not a big lover of the guy. But I can look at two leaders and say, is Joe Biden any more moral than Trump? No. And, you got to stand back and go, okay, wait a second here. But why does he get a pass on stuff? That's what I don't understand. And I think that's why our country's going to the toilet right now, is because so many people are so hateful that hate is evil and is blocking us from doing things that are good. No parties. Yep, I agree with you. No parties. Get rid of them. I've been saying for a while we need to get rid of both parties. Yep. I think, well, here in Oregon, Betsy Johnson tried to run, and she was a great candidate. And all that happened was all the Republicans, she's a Democrat in wolf's clothing. And so guess what? All those Republicans who were anti-Betsy, here's the bottom line. I knew Christina Drazan wasn't going to win, because Oregon's not going to vote in a Republican. I have a relative who told me Betsy Johnson was the candidate I would have voted for as a Democrat. But when I saw she wasn't going to win, there's no way I was going to vote for a Republican. So I voted for I voted for Kotek, and they think Kotek's going to be a horrible governor, which she is. She's a terrible governor. You guys are in big trouble, and so they voted for Kotek. So they voted for the person they knew would be the worst, but only because they didn't want a Republican. So hate drove that vote, and fear, and we should not be fearing anything like that. No, he doesn't. Come on, Valerie. You listen to too much MSNBC. He doesn't. That's what I think is funny too, is all the little bullshit stories that come up. And it's like, oh, here we go. Okay, Jim, what do you got? No more generic turds for presidents. Or geriatric, I'm sorry. Geriatric turds for presidents. Yeah, maybe we need a Kennedy again, or younger person, but maybe not we'll see. Okay, Jordan, to answer, do you believe that if an independent actually got all the votes, they would be put into office, or would the Democrats go side together and knocked out? Yeah, I don't know, Nathan. That's a good question. That's a really good question. Geez, Val, you watch too much CNN. Yeah. I would challenge every Democrat on here to go listen to Buck and Clay a little bit, and every Republican should go and listen to some Democrat person. Go listen to Joe Rogan. Go listen to some people who are more common sense, Jordan Peterson, people like that. Get your head out of it. It is, I'll hear a news headline and I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm a news guy. I know what's going on. That is not what's going on. So anyway, good talk tonight, you guys. Yeah, you like these shows when it's just you and me, huh? I love your participation, and I love having you over here with Instagram too at the same time, because it's nice you guys are popping in and everybody's popping in and doing their thing. So our sponsors tonight on our show, Cristiano Family Dentistry, where everyone is welcome, regardless of your vaccination status. The other thing right now is the end of the year. And if you're having cracked tooth, or you know that you're going to have a filling that needs to be replaced, and you bet your deductible, now's a really good time to go in and get that fixed. And they'll get you in the next couple of weeks. They can get you indefinitely. But that's Dr. Bratland. The reason we're here is because he's here. Also, Matt McCarl with New Leaf Hyperbarics and Wellness Center. They do hyperbaric treatments, light treatment, massage, all of that. And Matt is one of our longtime sponsors, and we do this, and he loves these kind of conversations as well. This is where the rubber hits the road. Guys, here's the deal. You have the power. I mean, you do. And you don't have to put up with the lies and call things what they are. And I know how hard it is. I mean, trust me, I get so much hate mail that it's not even funny. And my sister over Thanksgiving asked me, I see this, Rick, and I love what you do, but I'm really concerned for you, because how do you take that when so many people are doing that? And at the time, I just said, it's what it is. We just do what we do. And but I got home, and it's been a rough week. Just getting hammered by people, and I'm watching a lot of my clients and friends and starting to struggle because of the inflation and the dumb ass decisions of our president and his administration. And it is his fault. And so you can all stand up for him because you feel bad because you voted for him, because you voted out of hate or whatever, or because you can't stand Donald Trump, so you voted for this man who is nowhere not a leader. And now we find out that his FBI was coercing to get him elected with social media and holding back information from the American people. Shame on you. Shame on you, Twitter. Shame on you, FBI. Mr. Biden, I'm going to say shame on you too, because I'm sure you had something to do there. So, and Facebook, shame on you, and Instagram. You guys are just as you do it to me all the time. You do it to everybody. You're trying to shape the conversation, and that's not journalism. I'm a journalist by trade. That's what I did. And the whole idea was to give you a voice, not to persuade your voice. I can tell you what I think, and I'm gonna, because I'm not a technical journalist anymore. But when the media sticks its head between its tails and cowers, in fact, tomorrow night, you guys want to watch our show because I have a guy named Thomas Jordan coming on, and he is a consultant back east. He used to be a newscaster here in Eugene. We know each other very well. And he and I are going to do a podcast tomorrow night on the media and what we think is going to happen with it. So we'd love to have your input. We'd love to have you guys doing this. And the other thing to do is you don't have to go attacking people. And if there are people that you like, Valerie was very open and to have a conversation. There are people who aren't, and just get rid of them, dump them. Don't engage because they're not going to change. They don't want to change. They want to hate. So you don't become more hateful or hateful at all. Do not engage with the trolls. And if somebody doesn't use their real name, do not address them. Okay, so I think that's all I need to tell you. Share this on your page if it's shareable. Let people know tomorrow night to tune in. We're going to talk about the legacy media and their effectiveness and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice having you guys here from Instagram. I'm going to start doing it this way. I kind of like having you here at the same time. You have good comments over there. Facebook's over here. You can't see each other, but we're all friends. And I'm your conduit. So again, find something new to listen to challenge yourself, and don't listen to and do not trust the legacy media. All right. Have a good night. I'm going to go. How do I do that again? Bump.